Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming back for Cancer. We're going to talk about our beautiful Cancers. This is the first of our water signs. Cancer is ruled by the moon. We know that. And we want to talk a little bit about this type of water energy. As we get into the water signs, we know that we start getting into more of a psychic, emotional vibration. Cancer rules the stage of life from like 21 to 27 when you're having your first children and the in-laws are coming for Christmas and you're doing birthday parties with the cousins, right? During those 20s when you're young and most of us have had kids when we're young. They are the family center. This is often, you have the Italian cook, you have the chef. Cancer women are fierce when it comes to their family, protectors, the crab. So again, we have another animal that is preserving itself. It does have this outer shell, which is the outer shell of its home. It's ruled by the fourth house. So fourth house rules home, rules mother, rules that emotional security. We remembered that, Aries is looking for identity. There's security in their identity. Taurus is looking for material. Gemini is looking for communication, their identity, and being able to communicate and express themselves. The Cancer is now looking for security in their home, in their four walls. Why? Because within their four walls, if that is secure, then emotionally they can relax, they can feel safe, and this is somebody that has a very keen connection to vibration in a home, or when they walk into an environment, they feel everybody. They feel more of the overall tone, though. Is everybody upset? Is everybody happy? Are they getting ready to celebrate? What is the overall tone? That's the Cancer is going to pick up on that. The Cancer loves to be the center of the room, of the party, but not so much like the Leo we'll get to. This is the one that's cooking. This is the one that's pouring tea for everybody and got the coffee pot going. And hold on, let me get the cookies. And here, did you want another plate? Here, let me take that from you. Totally connected to everybody's nurturing, because they know if they feed and they nurture the environment, people will be safe, people will feel happy, people will feel secure. They also are extremely protective of their children, because again, this all ties into security in the home. Now, if you're with a Cancer, you know that they, like all three of the water signs, need to be able to go and get alone, get in that shell and go under a rock. Usually when we look at the signs, and this is something we can all do together, I've been doing this for a long time, but share this with you and talk about it, is following the moon cycles, because often water signs, when the moon is in water signs during those 2.5 day periods throughout the month as they appear, this is when we need to go under and restore. And if we follow the moon and find out what cycle are we on, that we need to take that time. Cancer needs to have that time, because just like all the water signs, they take in so much emotional energy around them. Now, Cancer is more like the spiritual doctor. Okay, so this is someone, and often is in the medical field, taking care of children, taking care of elderly, surgeons. You see a lot of Cancer surgeons. They probably will have some Scorpio in their chart. But intuitive doctors, like, the Cancer doctors will come out and say, I don't know why I made that decision to go do this versus that, but, I was the right one. So if you get a Cancer doctor, you're pretty lucky. They can feel other people's pain, physical pain. And this can be hard for the Cancer, because, if you've got a headache and you walk in and you're upset about your headache, pretty soon that Cancer may start actually getting that headache. You have a hip problem, and pretty soon the Cancer's like, yeah, my left hip's hurting too. What is that? In animals, and I've done a lot of studies of service dogs, the Cancer dog is the one that actually reads very well, like people who have diabetes. They can tell when their chemistry has changed or dropped. They're very in tune to that. Um, they can also smell cancer and people who are sick before maybe people even know they have it. And this can happen for the human cancer as well. Maybe you see someone and you think, why am I getting this really, feeling in my stomach right now? Like they're not well. Like, oh no, something's going on. And maybe a year later you'll find something out. So these are kind of things when it comes to um, emotional healing. Um, they feel the emotions in people, but remember their ultimate goal is to create an overall security for everyone. So they're not a lone ranger. Um, the moon sets the tone, doesn't it? The moon sets the tone for all of us, and so does the Cancer. If you have a Cancer in your life, often their emotional ups and downs and waves can set the tone for the household or the relationship. So you have to understand because they do go up and down so much. Oh, excuse me. I have my skirt on, but my knee came up. um, they will set the tone. So sometimes you can get caught in their waves of emotions. You just have to be a little cautious that you're not. When we get into the shadow side of Cancer, because we are dealing with family, Cancer rules lungs, breasts, different parts of the body that has to do with reproduction, okay? And it's the nurturing. When you look at the breast, they feed the baby. So Cancer, especially Cancer women, usually long to have a family. When you look at some charts or some people, or you meet a Cancer, often even a moon in Cancer, and they say, oh, I've lost my children, or I had a horrible relationship with my mother, or I had to take care of my mother. There's something aspected in the chart that created, that situation to basically go bad, where the Cancer should have an amazing family, amazing connection to mother, an amazing, children everywhere around them. But often, because we live in this world that we're, things aren't always, the deck doesn't always shuffle. And when we look at honestly at astrology, we see situations that I've seen in myself where, say, a Cancer woman again has lost their family, or had a maybe alcoholic mother. Those are not uncommon storylines. Um, there usually is a big mother connection. Cancer men can be mama boys. Okay, they're mama boys. So if you're going to marry a Cancer man, they kind of want a mama. Where the Cancer woman wants to be mama, Cancer men can want to be mamaed. And if you get married to one, make sure you and the mother-in-law get along because it's going to be a long relationship. Cancers are in it for the long haul. They'll stay in it for the long haul. They care deeply about their family. They can often have photographic memories. Emotional memories come up to them a lot. So, like, if you hurt a Cancer emotionally, unfortunately, even though they may let it go and you may move on, they'll never forget and they can recall the pain of that anytime. And sometimes we'll get stuck in talking about the pain of the past, the pain of the past. Um, it's kind of like emotional replay, and that can be hard if you're able to go and remember and re-experience that emotional feeling that you had, maybe 10 years ago. So these are the, when we talk about these energies, like I said, I'm trying to present them in a way that we're all in this together. We all have many of these energies in our charts and in our, we experience and in our relationships. Every one of them is extremely valuable. We are all valuable, and every energy is necessary, or the world wouldn't work. So if you're somebody that maybe does have a lot of this Cancer energy in your chart, maybe you did have a difficult situation with children or mother or something like that. You know, some Cancer women aren't even able to have children, but you can't stop there. You can't be defeated. You can't be a victim. You have to say, well, what can I do? Can I adopt? Can I foster? Can I go and volunteer at the a place where there's children? Can I teach? Can I teach cooking? Can I provide cookies for all the neighborhood kids? I mean, you have to heal that wound through the wound. And the shadowy side of this, I've seen in the Cancer energy that turns bitter and maybe has lost connection with women, mother, children, can come through as kind of the hand that rocks the cradle energy, where they want to take others' children or become the nanny, become the aunt, get all involved in everybody's life and try to live this pain through somebody else's life. You have to be very careful of that. So these are psychological things that we all deal with, and we see them in certain signs. Um, are we predestined? Are we is it predetermined that if we've got a bad deck, what appears to be a bad deck of cards, that we are victims, that we can't change? I just beg to differ. I think we have to keep pushing the envelope. Anybody that's willing to ask a question, to say, why am I like this? Looking at my life, looking for insights. Can I change these patterns? This isn't working for me. I've hurt a lot of people, or I've been hurt by the same people. When we get into the water signs, especially Cancer, this is an empath. This can be codependent. This can be so caring for their children that they let them get away with things. Because they want to keep them close to home, keeping their sons at home until they're in their 30s. That wouldn't be uncommon for a Cancer woman. So these are just things to play around with, you guys. Again, we're going to be diving in more and more and more, and I look forward to your responses. That'll help my videos, dive into different topics. But again, I'm just throwing out right now some stuff to start discussing about the signs. All right, stay tuned for Leo. You're not going to want to miss this.